Good evening, Belize. It's Thursday night and you're watching News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. Here's what we're following tonight. A brutal machete attack leaves an elderly man injured in Shybe village. And while covering that story, our very own Paul Lopez is also assaulted with a machete. In another shocking case, a car dealer from the Mile 8 community is arraigned after allegedly kidnapping his wife and her dog. Meanwhile, on Kikocker, justices of the peace are demanding the removal of violent police officers. Tourism Minister Anthony Muller finally breaks his silence on the BTB's losing streak in the High Court. And in Pomona, a land dispute involving the area rep's son spirals into violence. We've got all that and more coming up at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. News 5 starts now.
It's basketball time again. This time, big brother meets small brother. Oberman versus the India Warrior. We got dream ballers coming to the shark cage to meet the hungry Tiger Sharks. This one, I don't want to miss. It's all going down inside the Belize Civic Center this Friday, July 4th. Gates open at 7 p.m. and game starts at 9 p.m. Bring on the entire family in the BPBL. The San Pedro Tiger Sharks face off. We got dream ballers inside the Belize Civic Center. Doors open at 7 p.m. and game starts at 9 p.m. After party at Shishad. Sponsors include.
You don't know what the hottest league. You can see it.
You pay the bill?
Ma, I got the wallet.
So you could pay the bill now?
Yeah, I can show you.
Welcome back. A mid-afternoon brawl between two intoxicated men in Shybe village nearly turned deadly. And tonight we're hearing both sides of the story. 70-year-old Porfirio Copo is at the center of the incident. And while his family says he was attacked without cause, the accused man's relatives are claiming it was all in self-defense. But what happened next took us by surprise. While speaking with the accused family, one of his relatives suddenly lashed out, assaulting News 5's Paul Lopez with a machete. Thankfully, Paul escaped unharmed and brings us this first-hand report from the Korzal district.
A violent midday altercation in Shybe village has left 70-year-old Porfirio Copo hospitalized and another resident in police custody. The incident unfolded just outside of Rufus' store, where what began as a confrontation quickly escalated into a chopping. Amateur video captured the dramatic aftermath, showing the alleged perpetrator calmly handing himself over to police. Off camera, we spoke with Jair Alcocer, the brother of the accused, who claims his sibling acted in self-defense.
As I come this morning in the shop, this old guy was making trouble with another person's here, and then he went home and grabbed his machete and came back, and then the owner of the shop chased him from the shop because he don't want problems in the shop. And then it's where he came with this person and then have an altercation, and he chopped this guy, and then this guy just grabbed the pint, broke it, and then just tried to defend himself. So the man, then he hand over himself. He never ran or tried to hide. He just went home and changed the clothes and then hand over to the CIB. Because he said he don't think he's doing wrong or trying to hide by police because he get injured first.
According to accounts from the scene, despite suffering deep cut wounds to his arm and shoulder, Copo managed to get back on his bicycle, only to collapse 100 feet away in front of a nearby yard. He was rushed to the hospital for urgent medical care. But Copo and the alleged attacker were reportedly intoxicated at the time. And while the video shows the accused calmly surrendering to police, it also reveals no visible injuries on his body, raising questions about the self-defense claim. We spoke with Copo's niece, Diana Itzab, who shared their side of the story.
I hear people are saying that how he gone after this person because he returned after the incident, but that was hours after, and that wasn't true because he was right here at my house saying that how he had an incident with somebody earlier, that somebody knocked him with a bottle, but he didn't do anything. And I won't say my uncle is a saint because he's not a saint. When he drink, he like rail up and then think, but that's it. And somebody had to do him something for him to go after that person with a machete, because that is what they're saying. But right there, if you ask anybody out there, they will say the same thing because everybody are family, everybody are friends. Nobody will tell you what really happened. Everybody will stay with us, do the same story and say it against him. But they're saying it was with a battle, but I don't understand how a person will want to cut somebody with a machete and then say how my uncle chopped this person when he wanted to chop the person on its head, but that never happened like that because then say how the person got cut on his hand, but the person doesn't have any cut. Where is the cut that the person is saying? There is no cut because people see it. He had no blood. Plus his family was laughing out there like he do something good.
They're claiming self-defense.
Self-defense. If it was self-defense, still you should be concerned for your family member doing something like that. He almost killed somebody.
But the story doesn't stop there. Public drinking and aggressive behavior under the influence appears to be an ongoing issue in Shybe village. When we arrived at the scene, the owner of Rufus' store was also visibly intoxicated. He interrupted our interview and surprisingly asked for beers in exchange for giving a comment. Here's a clip from that encounter.
He don't know because he was not here. I never tell you.
Explain him on top. Unless you don't want to talk because you want beer. I don't have beer, so I have to talk to him.
All right.
After our interview, we were speaking with more relatives of the accused who were sharing videos and images with us. That's when things took a dangerous turn. The shop owner, upset that we refused to buy beers from his store, pulled out a machete and swung it at me, striking my lower back. Thankfully, I wasn't seriously hurt, though I felt a sharp sting afterward. Assaulted on the job by a drunken store owner, just for saying no to beer. Even his own nephew admits that alcoholism and machete violence are serious problems in the community.
Happens from years ago, that's not from now. Though this community is really well known as a, I would say it, person known as like conocido como su mala fama. How do you say it in English?
Like bad community?
No bad community. Yeah, people drinks and always fight. Notorious is the word.
Oh, it's
notorious village. Yeah.
Porfirio Copo is listed in a stable condition. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A Mile 8 resident is behind bars tonight after being accused of kidnapping and assaulting his wife, a teacher, during a domestic dispute. 28-year-old car dealer Anferni Conarchy was arraigned in Belize City Magistrates Court for kidnapping and common assault. He pleaded not guilty to the assault charge, but no plea was taken for kidnapping, which is an indictable offense. Bail was denied and he was remanded to the Belize Central Prison. According to police, Conarchy allegedly violated a protection order by confronting his wife at their home, forcibly taking her dog and later dragging her into a vehicle. She claims he assaulted her, took her phone and sped off with her against her will. Despite her attempts to signal the police, Conarchy reportedly evaded capture during a high-speed chase across multiple highways before eventually releasing her. He now also faces a separate charge for breaching the protection order. The Keycocker branch of the Justice of the Peace Association is calling for urgent national intervention following what they describe as a disturbing pattern of police violence on the island. In a strongly worded release, the group condemned years of alleged abuse by local officers, highlighted by the recent death of a young resident. Justice of the Peace Javier Novello stated that officers who act as aggressors forfeit their right to serve, and called for immediate removal of those with violent histories. The association is demanding an independent investigation, officer reassignment, mandatory retraining, and full judicial accountability. Andrew Novello, the individual seen in the video being roughed up by Keycocker police, is the grandson of Javier Novello. The Justice of the Peace recounted part of the incident, which involved also a traffic warden with News 5.
So he's asking, continue asking the warden, what have I done wrong? Why did you take my golf cart? And no one could give him any answer. He says the warden walked up to him and chest bumped him and told him what you going to do about it. And he basically saying that all I want is answers. Tell me why you took the golf cart. And if I have committed an offense, give me my ticket and let me go on my way. He's all hyped up and they're exchanging words right there. And they could not give him an answer, so he decided to take the cart and he was driving out of the compound and he was going to bring the golf cart back home when the police said was coming. And the male warden running out, shouting, that's him, stop him. So he immediately stopped, came out of the cart and put his hands up. And the officer just came to him, grabbed him in the shirt, his sweatshirt that he had on, actually ripped it, and punched him and threw him on the golf cart, and then he then started questioning them, why are you beating me? What did I do? Explain to me why you're beating me and coming to me in this aggressive way. And he's right there back and forth with the officers and they're basically telling to shut up. And the other officer that was there from behind put him in a headlock. And it was, he said it was a very aggressive headlock that he felt his ear going, so he began tapping the officer on the arm and letting him know that he felt his throat burning, and asking to, tapping him so that they could release him. He was held in that headlock on tail. They put handcuffs on him, and then they put him back on the golf cart. He still continued then asking, what is happening? Tell me what. He's all hyped up, and as anyone would be, you're trying to get answers and no answers. They can't tell you why they took your golf cart. What is the reason? And no answer is given. They put him they had him on the cart there, and the officer just slapped him really hard. You could hear it in the video, and he was taken to the police station. He says all the way they're taking him there, they're hitting him on the head, on the face.
The Keycocker Justice of the Peace Association says it stands with the Keycocker Village Council and pledges to support victims through legal and advocacy channels. A routine drive home turned into a nightmare for Sandra Ballesteros on Monday night. She says another driver, identified as Marvin Williams, slammed into her vehicle, causing it to flip. Miraculously, she walked away without serious injuries, but her car was left badly damaged. Now Sandra is speaking out. She says despite what happened, authorities have refused to charge the other driver. Tonight, she's sharing her story, seeking answers, accountability, and justice.
The accident happened after 20 minutes after I left my work site. I went to job a product by after Green Estate and Large Bank, and then coming back to Ladyville, Mr. Marvin speed up and crashed to me. I was in the Large Bank Road, and he came from a small road, and he crashed to my right side on the back door, like near to the back tire.
What injuries did you sustain as a result of the accident?
No bones broken. I just have a lot of pain, especially my neck area and my shoulder. I jumped to Nova. I don't know how many times, but I am sure that I was driving like 25 kilometers per hour. So because I was just crossed a bump.
Were you alone in the vehicle?
Yes, I was alone in the vehicle, and I was a professional cyclist for years, so I guess that helps a lot. The police reached like 37 or 40 minutes after, because I don't know who called the police, because my phone was in my shop.
Did you receive any medical attention following the accident?
Yes, after the accident, the police told me to better find a way to go to the hospital because I was in pain.
I also understand that they refused to charge Marvin Williams. Were you given any explanation as to why Marvin Williams hasn't been charged?
Yeah, I have asked the why he's not detained or he's free. So they told me that it's not a crime crashing to somebody.
And what type of damage did your vehicle sustain?
The vehicle is not good for nothing anymore. I guess that turned over like maybe two times. I don't know. That was so fast, so I don't know how exactly. I just remember that a light came in from that small road and hit me hard.
Despite the rollover and the complete loss of her vehicle, Sandra Ballesteros is grateful to have walked away without major injuries. But the emotional and financial toll remains, and so do the questions. Sandra says she is left wondering how someone can cause so much damage and walk away without accountability. It all happened so fast, she says. Now she is hoping her story leads to answers and action. Coming up, Anthony Mahler defends $50 million BTB bond accounting. More when we return.
Dengue and Zika alert. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding. The Ministry of Health reminds the public that as we enter the rainy season, be aware of the dangers of dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. These are infectious diseases that are transmitted by the bite of Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes. These mosquitoes are most active in early morning and late afternoon. Activities that should be done to prevent dengue and Zika include: avoid having containers that can collect water in your yard. Cover water storage containers such as drums. Change the water in flower pots every 4 or 5 days. These are ideal breeding sites for the mosquito. With the elimination of breeding sites in and around the yard, dengue and Zika can be avoided. Dengue and Zika begin with sudden onset of high fever. Other signs and symptoms include rash, joint pain, eye pain. The public is also encouraged to use mosquito repellent spray or lotion on the body or clothing. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
Quality Poultry Products is celebrating its 50th anniversary with a motorcade through the principal streets of San Ignacio on July 5th starting at 10 a.m. Bring out the family and wave at our motorcade. There will be free goodies, promotional giveaways, and great music all along the route. We move off from our San Ignacio branch, turning onto Joseph Andrew Drive, down Benque Viejo Road, exiting the roundabout onto George Price Highway. Then right onto Ramirez Drive, right at Crenshaw Street, left at Park Street, right at Collins Boulevard, right onto Bullet Tree Road, turning onto Burns Avenue, crossing over the Hawksworth Bridge, next onto George Price Highway, the roundabout, exit at La Loma Luz Boulevard, making our return back to our San Ignacio branch. So, bring out your family and join the celebration. Quality Poultry Products, celebrating 50 years of serving Belize.
It's finally here. KTV The Remix Season 7 goes live. Come meet the new cast of challengers ready to shake up the stage and remix the culture. From raw local power to lyrical fire, from classical hits to bold new sounds, this is where Belize's next star is born. The place to be? The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today for only $5 at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. KTV The Remix Season 7, Tuesday, July 8th at 8 p.m. See you there.
The temperatures are rising, but the prices are dropping fast. From beach days to backyard barbecues, Cellular World has everything you need to stay connected, entertained, and ahead of the curve. Crank up the music with JBL speakers. Watch every play in a crystal clear action on a new Samsung TV, or stay productive with reliable Dell devices, all from your trusted authorized distributor. How low can you go? Try smartphones just for $119. Tablets at $129. TVs starting at only $379. Gadgets, computers, printers, appliances, and office equipment at the best price. Visit us today at your favorite Cellular World location, Belize City, Belmopan, Orange Walk, or San Pedro, and find great deals, trusted brands, and a summer you will never forget.
coming up. Get ready because it's crop over time. A friendship contribution to children with cancer, making a difference for those with special needs. African culture expressed through fashion, and another reward for a job well done. It's all next on this station.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family, as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
The legal hits just keep coming for the Belize Tourism Board. Another courtroom loss has landed, and this time it's former IT head Norman Young, walking away with over $230,000 after the High Court ruled his contract was wrongfully terminated. And that's just the latest in a growing list. The Court of Appeal recently upheld a massive payout, $770,000 for former Director of Tourism Karen Bevins. And let's not forget Misty Michael, the former Director of Marketing, who was awarded over $200,000 back in 2023. It's a costly trend that's raising eyebrows. And now Tourism Minister Anthony Mahler says the BTB may be taking its fight all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice. So what's behind this string of legal defeats, and what could it mean for taxpayers?
Those monies have already been paid, you know. These are not new things. What we did was to appeal the first judgment at the appeals court, and we lost. Now we're seriously contemplating about going to the CCJ because we feel that there are grounds on whereby certain things went wrong. In fact, if you read the judgment, the judgment said that there was no board oversight in signing the contracts. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a fundamental principle in this, you know. Mm-hmm. You're saying that there are issues elsewhere regarding this, that the board did not see the contract, the board did not approve the contract, and the chairperson or the head of that institution signed off on contracts. That's the same thing that happened in the BTB. In fact, there were other things that have happened in the past administration that we were left with the bag. Now, if you look at those contracts, right, they're unbreakable on one side. So it's not any like that we're taking advantage of those individuals. The contracts were one-sided in their favor, just in the event that something like this would happen.
Tonight, the spotlight is on a $54 million question. Where exactly did all that money go? The Belize Tourism Board's 2023 bond is under scrutiny, and PSU President Dean Flowers, along with opposition Senator Sheena Pitts, are demanding answers. They're calling on Tourism Minister Anthony Mahler to show the receipts. How has the ministry invested those millions? And what's the real impact on the tourism industry? Well, Minister Mahler isn't dodging the heat. Appearing on Open Your Eyes, he responded, saying the BTB is regularly audited and that a full report is on the way to show how the funds are being used to strengthen Belize's tourism sector.
At times when a camera and a mic are put in someone's face, they have to grandstand. They have to come with some level of energy in that business. Like I've said before, I grew up in a household that is a union household, and so I understand that. But there has to be mutual respect you can't say it that there's mutual respect, and when you get out there you say all sorts of things about the Prime Minister, you say all sorts of things about government ministers. There has to be some level of respect. And I want to say this, like I said, the private sector, both major private sector organizations are on the board of directors for the BTB. There is an audited financial done every single year, and we put those reports forward to the government, and so that will not stop. I have asked for the reports to be put together for the bond, and in short time I will present those to the nation. What I can tell you is that I have an arsenal to let go with the on the previous administration, with them getting $90 million over their term with nothing to show for it.
Tourism numbers are looking up, at least on paper. According to the Ministry of Tourism, cruise arrivals jumped by 5% in the first quarter of 2025, and overnight stays saw a modest 2% rise. Minister Anthony Muller says those figures reflect a healthy start to the year. But not everyone's feeling the momentum. Some industry stakeholders are raising red flags, saying business has slowed down in recent months and it's starting to hurt.
Actually, the year started very strong, and then I believe that all the issues that are going on around the world right now in terms of the geopolitics, the trade wars with real bombs, have played an impact on people traveling. Sometimes Canadians would have to come to the United States. They are hesitant to go there. Same thing with Europeans. But all in all, we're still performing at the same rate, I would say, of last year. So if memory serves me, it was 316,900 between January and June this year, and it was 316,500 last year. Just a marginal increase, which I also think that last year, if you look at 24 compared to 23, was an anomaly. It was a huge growth, and I would prefer a more sustainable growth path.
You will accept that there are stakeholders and investors that are saying, in essence, the money that they're running at the tourism industry right now in the way they projected it would?
Well, I've heard some people say so, but the numbers aren't showing that, to be honest. Even if you look at the hotel revenues for the first 6 months, we're up by about $1.5 million for the entire country. Now, we would want it to be a little bit more, but barring the circumstances, I think we're doing okay.
After the break, highlighting LEOG's homemade pepper sauce. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
My name is Leomar Langzert, and I'm a teacher, and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer-Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Veracidad, imparcialidad.
Este es el término utilizado.
Hemos estado haciendo el trabajo como organización. Y tus noticias en español.
Están en aguas beliceñas, entonces esta bandera se queda aquí.
Sintoniza Canal 5 cada viernes a las 7 de la noche.
Tenemos que resolver dos grandes problemas de este país.
Su voz importa, su acción cuenta.
Transfusión sanguínea, elementos que indican un deterioro evidente del estado de salud.
Somos Noticiero 5 semanal.
Perdió la vida en un heroico intento de proteger a su hermano. El Tribunal de Magistrados de la ciudad de Belice se paralizó. La policía está investigando 2 asesinatos separados.
Tu fuente de información.
You pay the bill?
Ma, I got the wallet.
So you could pay the bill now?
Yeah, I can show you.
Ah.
See? Easy.
It's finally here. KTV The Remix Season 7 goes live. Come meet the new cast of challengers ready to shake up the stage and remix the culture. From raw local power to lyrical fire, from classical hits to bold new sounds, this is where Belize's next star is born. The place to be? The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today for only $5 at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. KTV The Remix Season 7, Tuesday, July 8th at 8 p.m. See you there.
RF&G encourages you to activate your emergency disaster plan to ensure safety and coverage for your vessel. We advise you to move your boat to higher grounds. If your vessel gets submerged, do not attempt to start after retrieval. Contact the claim department at 0800 RFG Help, or you can file a claim via WhatsApp at 670-8700. Then, immediately contact your marine mechanic to assess the damages sustained. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance.
From heartbreak to hot sauce. Tonight we bring you the inspiring story of a San Ignacio man who turned personal tragedy into purpose. Back in 2023, Elio Grajales was living a normal life until a freak accident while repairing a sofa left him legally blind. He lost his vision, his job, and the life he once knew. But Elio didn't give up. With the unwavering support of his wife and son, he found a new path, one that's as bold and flavorful as his spirit. Today, he's the proud creator of Elio G's homemade pepper sauce, proving that even in the face of adversity, dreams can still take flight. News 5's Paul Lopez has more in tonight's Belize on Real.
45-year-old Elio Grajales' story is one of tragedy and triumph. As a child, he partially lost sight in one eye after being hit with a rock. A decade ago, a spring from a sofa set damaged the optical nerves in his second eye. He was deemed legally blind.
2013, I was on my day off and was at home working on a sofa set, and I had an accident. The spring went loose and stabbed me in the eye, punctured the eye. From what the next eye was already a little damaged from when I was very young. No? So the good eye was the one that the spring damaged. So I had to go to Guatemala for surgery. I had like 5 or 6 surgeries, and the doctor said probably he had a high chance, but it didn't work out. The eye did not come back, so I was deemed disabled.
At the time, Elia was a pump plant operator with the Belize Electric Company Limited. He had to leave his employment of 8 years. It was a harsh new reality that Elia, his wife Christy Grajales, and their son had to come to terms with. Christy decided to take up the financial reins of the home.
2007, I got married to my wife. She's Christy Grajales. She works at the Central TV Antenna. We have been married for 16 years. I have one son. He's 16 years old too. It's hard to talk about it. My wife said, let's just not worry about that at the moment. Let's deal with your recovery, with whatever we need to do to get you back. You know, the hardest part was when I went to the doctor and he gave me the final, like, you know, don't worry, like I understand what he's trying to tell me, but then it was so really sad that I couldn't take it, that he told me that nothing can happen. So my wife said, don't worry. She's a very supportive wife. She's always been a supportive wife.
In the left eye, his vision is impaired by a dark spot. His right eye has a tubular effect. This prevents him from driving and limits his use of computers and cell phones. But his condition does not stop him from maneuvering around his home and kitchen, where he now spends most of his time making pepper sauce. Elias G's homemade pepper sauce was his way of reinventing himself and creating a new source of income for his family.
From small, I like pepper, but then I said, let me try something. And then I started trying and doing formulas, doing research, finding out how to get it to last longer and stuff, you know. And I started doing my own, and I gave people to taste, and I said, this is really good. What I do as before I start, I disinfect the bottles, you know, with a little Clorox and water. I spray them, and then I left them for a little while, and then I rinse them out. And then after I get the peppers and I go through them, make sure they're all good, and then I wash them too with a little vinegar, so to kill anything or get the dirt off. Then I peel the onions, and then I peel those off, and then I wash those too. I wash the cilantro, because I use a little cilantro, and that's it. Then I just get everything together, and then I got a blender, and then I just put everything in there, the ingredients, salt, vinegar, cilantro, the onion, and the pepper. And my secret ingredient.
It is hard to tell that Grajales is visually impaired when observing him operate in the kitchen, even with knives that he tries to avoid using when possible. But he has wholly familiarized himself with his surroundings, his ingredients, and the necessary measurements. It's good. It's just right. The right amount of spice. The flavor, you just pop with a lot of flavor. That'll just bun. Some of his ingredients come directly from his home garden, where he grows a wide variety of herbs and other plants that he also has on sale. Elias says becoming an entrepreneur, in spite of his disability, has restored his sense of purpose in life.
My wife is so proud of me because of what I'm doing, you know, because I could just stay home and not do anything, but and I didn't grow up that way. I go out and try to find ways how to help her, and you know, my son is going to high school, he needs to be CXC, so that pushes me more to help.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
When we return, Placencia shoreline clash over illegal jetties.
access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
This is where blue innovation meets green ambition and orange creativity thrives. Join us for the Belize Investment Summit 2025, September 3rd to 5th at the Sunset Caribe in San Pedro. This is the future of regional integration, and it starts here. Whether you're returning home, expanding regionally, or entering new markets, Belize welcomes you. Why Belize? Why now? Belize Investment Summit 2025, Bridging Markets, Building Resilience. September 3rd to 5th, Sunset Caribe, San Pedro. Visit investmentsummit.bz to register and be part of shaping the investment frontier.
Coming up, get ready because it's crop over time. A friendship contribution to children with cancer, making a difference for those with special needs. African culture expressed through fashion, and another reward for a job well done. It's all next on this station.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Measles is a virus that is highly infectious and spreads through the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It often starts with a fever, cough, runny nose, and red, watery eyes, followed by a rash that spreads all over the body. Measles can cause serious complications. But here's the good news. Measles is preventable. The safest and most effective way to protect your child is through vaccination. The MMR vaccine is safe and available at your nearest health centers and clinics. Let's keep our families and communities safe. Get vaccinated. Stay protected. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in partnership with PAHO and UNICEF.
Over on the Placencia Peninsula, a quiet battle is brewing, and it's all happening along the shoreline. Earlier this year, concerned residents took matters into their own hands, removing unauthorized jetties from the protected reserve in the name of sustainability. But just as quickly as they were taken down, some of those same structures popped right back up, reinstalled by defiant homeowners. One resident says the back and forth has become exhausting. After partially removing a re-erected jetty next door, they watched the owner put it right back again. Even after the Department of the Environment stepped in with removal notices, the same homeowner has reportedly returned, placing rocks in the reserve and dredging sand from the seabed to fill behind them. Now frustrated neighbors are speaking out, saying some property owners are ignoring environmental rules, dismissing community concerns, and showing little regard for the DOE's authority.
So I'm relatively new to my neighborhood, and so are my neighbors, and we're some of the neighbors who have been affected by erosion because of these jetties, and other neighbors that have been there long term have tried getting through with the government and everything, and just it doesn't go anywhere. And so recently this year, we were able to get a hold of the Placencia Peninsula Citizens for Sustainable Development, and they started removing the rock jetties because they're all on reserve land, and that's in our neighborhood. And they did verify that these are non-permitted rock structures, and this was also verified by the official from the DOE that came out May 15th to look at the jetty that's by our homes. And so as far as the jetty that affected us, it was put in March 19th, and it was removed by the coalition April 5th. And then it was put back in by the same owner after the coalition removed it on May 5th or 6th. And then we ended up, after they put it back in, we partially removed it as homeowners on the 10th. And then on May 13th, the DOE came out, issued warnings that the rock structures had to be removed. And so the homeowner that had the jetty immediately removed it starting the 14th, 15th of May. And now they put it back in. But then also this time they're dredging sand out of the seabed and filling behind the rock structures.
A land dispute is boiling over in Pomona village after taking a violent turn. What started as a disagreement over property boundaries for 70-year-old landowner Miguel Angel Trejo and his son, 35-year-old Samuel Trejo, has now escalated into a serious safety concern. The situation reached a boiling point when Samuel, who works as a caretaker at Lemongrass Farm, was allegedly attacked with a steel pipe by a man identified as Stoney Ferguson, leaving him with serious injuries.
The real truth is that because I have a cave right close to my place, and then he wanted to access the cave, right, and he asked me permission to go to my property to access the cave. So I tell him, okay, no problem, right, because I know him from a long time. But no, he want my place. Now he cause me problem because I know he want hold on my place. You know? Well, from a long time he come in like a friend, right? He come and say he want coconut, so I let him pick coconuts and everything. Every time he come, and so then like what I say, he see the cave and he say he want accept the cave, so he want pass, right? So everything will go good, but then afterwards he start to pass the limit. He burned down my bathroom, he broke down my pig fence, you know, and things like that. And then, well, my dad gonna make the report because then I'm at work, I never had time, and he made too much report and nothing got true. So now this day, the 8th of this month we're gone. He wait for me under my house with a piece of steel, and then he just wait until I come out. If I have my bathroom outside, and when I walk outside and I use the bathroom, then I feel the hit by my head, and I feel and it lash me, and I manage to get away, and Then when I turn around and look, I strap the hair and I tell him, what shall you do to me? I tell him, this is not your story, I'll carry this to the police.
We spoke by phone with Miguel Angel Trejo, who says he's the rightful owner of the property now under intense scrutiny. Trejo didn't just come with claims. He came with receipts, photographs, videos, and legal documents that he says prove his ownership. But that's not all. Trejo told us he's worried about his safety, especially after he says that the area representative offered him 10 acres of land on one condition, that he walks away from his own. And in a bold claim, he recounted a violent encounter involving Stoney Ferguson, who allegedly attacked his motorcycle with a machete. Trejo showed us a police report and documents indicating that Stoney's mother later paid for the damage.
On the 8th of April, I was told that Stoney had come back again. I went to check and they told me that he had arrived with a man that looked like a tourist, and he was showing him around the place. But Stoney claimed that the place was his and that no one could say anything to him. I told him I was going to speak to Mr. Rodwell to explain what was going on. I said to Mr. Rodwell, I've been living here for 20 years and now your son has come in aggressively insulting us and telling us to leave. He already brought 6 men to clean here. Mr. Rodwell told me that he was going to check it out himself and asked them to leave me because he hadn't sent anyone there. 2 days later, the police came to my home in the cave and asked me what was going on. I told them Mr. Rodwell's son came aggressively with a machete demanding that we leave. I don't want any trouble, I'm just here to work. We have our chickens, sheep and pigs, and I'm just trying to make a living. The police then asked if they would come in to take a look, and when they did, Stoney was also there. Mr. Rodwell is offering me 10 acres of land in exchange to evacuate the property where I am currently living now. But when I went to see him to see if he would give me 10 acres, he told me it was no longer 10 acres that he was willing to give me. What he did is that he damaged my motorcycle with a machete, and I filed a police report. And I also request court action because it was an act of abuse towards me. He wanted to kill me. I charged him $750 for damage caused to my motorcycle, and he did pay me the $750 at the police station, and I requested a receipt.
As the property dispute draws increasing attention, we reached out to Stan Creek Area Representative Rodwell Ferguson to get his side of the story. But when we contacted him by phone, he declined to comment, telling us simply that he does not wish to be involved. Up next, DFC hits major milestone with GFC accreditation.
Belize is blessed with incredible beauty, from our lush rainforests to our crystal clear seas. But this beauty is under threat. Plastic pollution is choking our oceans, harming our wildlife, and putting our communities at risk. This World Environment Day, let's stand together to beat plastic pollution. No to single-use plastics. Choose sustainable options. Support businesses that care. Together, we can keep Belize clean, green, and plastic-free. Let's do this for us and for the future.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
It's finally here. KTV The Remix Season 7 goes live. Come meet the new cast of challengers ready to shake up the stage and remix the culture. From raw local power to lyrical fire, from classical hits to bold new sounds. This is where Belize's next star is born. The place to be? The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today for only $5 at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. KPB The Remix Season 7, Tuesday, July 8th at 8 p.m. See you there.
Publix to celebrate 27 years of serving Belizean families. Get 10% off over 1,000 items, dairy, meats, and everyday essentials. June 6 to 15, come celebrate and save. Publix, the Fui Supermarket.
In Belize, change isn't just coming, it's already here. When people have tools, knowledge, and power, they build the future they want. This is what a game-changing partnership looks like. Equal, lasting, and led by the next generation. From greener choices to inclusive growth and innovation, Belize and the European Union are shaping tomorrow together. Every action, every voice, every breakthrough, it's all a part of the same story. Game changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to discover the game changers.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Carazal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
The Development Finance Corporation, or DFC, has just made history, becoming the first financial institution in Belize to earn accreditation from the Green Climate Fund. What does that mean? Access to up to $100 million for climate-friendly projects. According to DFC's CEO, Henry Anderson, this milestone could mean lower interest rates and new incentives for businesses and individuals investing in clean energy, sustainable infrastructure, and water security. It's a major step toward building a more climate-resilient Belize.
This is really big, Paul, and it's not only big for DFC, but it's big for Belize. As you know, there's a thing called the Paris Agreement that you may have heard of, and countries make determinations of what they will do every year to reach targets by 2030. The Green Climate Fund was created out of that to assist countries in getting access to financing to be able to meet those nationally determined contributions, and to transition, to ensure a just transition away from fossil fuels and to reduce carbon footprint. So DFC getting this accreditation allows Belize to have access. Now, I must say that PACT is already accredited, so we're the second entity. PACT is accredited to do grants, and we are accredited to do other financial instruments. So we can do loans, we can do guarantees, we can do equity, we can do blending, right? So it allows us, Belize's development bank, or if you will, to have access to the funds to do projects up to 100 million Belize dollars, right? So that's a different level. And, it creates the flexibility that we need as a country. For DFC, if I may add, DFC has done a lot of work at the legal level. We changed the act to broaden the scope, to strengthen the governance of DFC. As part of this process, we got funding through the Green Climate Fund to fill what we call a readiness gap, right? To tighten up the areas that we need to strengthen. That process started all the way back in 2019 and finished in 2023. And we must say thanks to the Caribbean Development Bank for assisting us and serving as our mentor through that process. And so what this accreditation is saying to the world is DFC is one of probably 200 entities in the world that meets this level of governance and ability to do business with the GCF. So it's big.
Anderson says DFC hopes to see the first project get off the ground within the next year and a half. He also thanked the Ministry of Economic Development for this support in acquiring this accreditation. A powerful conversation took center stage in Belmopan this week as the Ministry of Constitution and Religious Affairs, Indigenous Affairs and Transportation welcomed some of the most respected voices from the Garifuna community. It all happened on Monday, right at the ministry's headquarters, where leaders, advocates, and government officials came together to talk about real issues, real solutions, and a shared vision for the future. From land rights to cultural preservation, the dialogue was open, honest, and full of purpose. And with names like Roy Cayetano, Mayor Robert Mariano, and Cynthia Ellis-Topsy at the table, alongside Minister Dr. Louis Zabanet and his team, it was clear this wasn't just another meeting. It was a meaningful step toward deeper collaboration and lasting change. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.